What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
I have everything to go. Ready to roll. That feels about right. Yeah. That feels about it. Well, on that note,
never recorded in the morning. This is
we've never. Yeah, this is the first. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 110 of the Underground Circuit podcast. As you can tell, we're recording a little bit differently today. We normally record Tuesdays at like 6:30ish.
6 o'clock. Yeah.
6 p.m. Yeah. This is Monday morning, Memorial Day weekend at 9:30 a.m. So we're a little tired, but we wanted to record today just because we're both a little busy coming up and everything. But it's also following Motorsport Christmas.
Yes.
Just wanted to do it, just to get the fresh thoughts and everything, and not wait until Tuesday night. So like I said, this is Monday
I can hear
morning.
your neighbors.
Yeah, they're running around outside. This is post Monaco and post Indy 500 episode, so we'll recap both of those races, talk about them and everything, and then we'll preview and we'll give our predictions for Detroit for IndyCar and Spain for F1.
Yes.
Good episode today. We'll do our normal meme of the week and everything, but after meme of the week, we're going to do two Pints and Pit Stops today.
Woo-hoo.
Casey's going to be quizzing me on Monaco, and I will be quizzing Casey on the Indy 500. So we'll do that, and then we'll jump into our recap from there for each race. So, good episode today. I'm excited. Make sure, please go over and follow us on our social medias over at Underground Circuit _. That is on Instagram and Threads. Twitter is UG Circuit Pod. And TikTok is Underground _Circuit. They are spelled exactly how the show name is spelled, where it's spelled out, obviously. With Twitter, it's UG Circuit Pod. So make sure to go follow over there. It's also scrolling along the bottom if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you for watching.
Yes.
Make sure to go follow us on those channels. So we'll get into it. Meme of the week. Casey?
But first, because we don't watch NASCAR like as much as we probably should, but they also had like one of their biggest races yesterday, which obviously we'll talk about because Kyle Larson was trying to do the double. But I'm pretty sure the guy who won, Ross Chastain, where did he start?
Oh, did he do what Joseph Newgarden was trying to do?
Yes. Okay, so he started from 40th and won.
Started from 40th.
So, if everyone thought like Monaco was chaotic or they didn't think it was chaotic, if they thought the Indy 500 was chaotic or not, I think the NASCAR race was truly chaotic. So,
yeah, it sounded it from the brief things I saw on Threads. It sounded like it was a chaotic race. It sounded like it was a fun cap off to the day that we had yesterday.
Sorry, I posted on Threads early this morning and I was like, happy race week. And someone replied with like this gif of this older lady being like, not another one. Honestly, I feel it.
Yeah.
The first two races of this Triple Header have been overwhelming. But yes, meme of the week. We'll get started.
The week.
I can go first.
All right.
So my meme of the week, there's really no context to it. It's just a photo of Charles and Lando in the cooldown room. It's just the way they're looking at each other. I feel like perfectly describes the last 20 laps of that race. That perfectly describes Owen and I and our reactions to the last 20 laps of the race. If you're new to listening, if this is the first time you're listening ever, obviously Charles is my favorite. Lando's is Owen's favorite. So like, we were stressed at the end of that race yesterday. But yeah,
we were very
those
stressed.
Pictures, the way they're looking at each other is like, what just happened? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, that was poor Oscar's over there, like third wheeling, I feel like. But yeah.
Oh, he was included in on the conversation. He was. Yeah. He's just Oscar. He pulls back when he gets the chance.
Yeah. But yes, so that was my quick meme of the week. It was too good not to pull up. Bring Owens up.
Mine's pretty quick, too. This is from Classic Formula Dank. And it says, guys, I think I know how to fix Monaco. I do love that these memes kind of always roll around when Monaco rolls around. And we'll kind of talk about this, too, when we get to our Monaco recap. But this is a scene from Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, when they're doing the pod race. And the Tusken Raiders are shooting at the pod racers in their pods as they're racing. And it's just, I just love it, just because it's Star Wars and I love Star Wars. But it's just funny, just how these things are always just like, it's like annual memes come around whenever Monaco rolls around. So I thought it was funny. It got a chuckle out of me.
I like it. Good one. I also could have shown another meme of the week. It was strictly a video of Alex Palou talking to James Hinchcliffe at the beginning of like media day for the 500, and they posted it after, and Hinchcliffe's like, what are you gonna do if you win? Like, I know you're, and Alex Palou's like, I don't know. And he's like, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do to go crazy? Because I guess he's like not that person, like, doesn't go crazy. And James Hinchcliffe's like, are you just going to have like 2 Diet Cokes maybe, or an espresso after dinner? And Alex Palou goes, I mean, maybe I'll have like a full Coke, not a Diet Coke. Like,
whoa, whoa, Alex.
Yes. It could have been a good meme as well. But it was the video, and I know what's it called doesn't normally come through. But yes. So no weekly news since the last we recorded. I don't really think there's been anything since then that's happened, but obviously I'll do it quickly. Our weekly news is brought to you by IPF1Store.com. Go shop over there. Like we say every week, the prettiest pieces of artwork. Code Underground10, Underground spelled the same way as the show, for 10% off your entire order. But yes, no weekly news. I feel like the biggest piece of weekly news is Motorsport Christmas, so that's what we're going to talk about. I feel like I should have worn like a Chris Santa hat or something, but we will be getting right into Pints and Pit Stops.
Oh, yes.
And no one teased it.
I want to do... I don't know what to do. I want to do the Indy 500 first. Talk about the Indy 500
Ask me.
first. Yeah. Because I think we should quiz you, go into the Indy 500 discussion.
And then I'll quiz you, and then Monaco.
Quiz me, and then we go into discussion. Right.
Okay.
So, Indy 500 first. If you're new here, if you're a friendly new face, Pints and Pit Stops is our trivia game that we play here. It is a 5-question trivia game. The person answering the questions must answer them as fast as possible. That is the Pit Stops portion of it. The Pints portion of it is I love beer. I like trying new beer. Today. Or coffee. We are both rocking the coffee today. I don't have any creamer at home right now, so I'm just doing like black coffee. But it's good. I like it. So that's the Pints portion of it. Typically it's a beer. I actually do have beer brought for it, but 9:30.
Yeah, but it's 9 a.m.
Yeah. So I will be asking Casey questions, and then
I mean, it is a holiday.
It is a holiday. You're right. I'll be asking Casey some questions. She has as quickly as possible to answer them. For every question that she gets right, it is a second off of her time.
Oh no!
For every question that she gets wrong, it is a second added onto her time. So I said this before we started recording. So this one was a little hard for me to write because obviously the Indy 500 is so long. It can be so long. You know, it's multiple hours. It's 200 laps. You know, there's a lot that happens in there. So it's very easy for me to be like, who overtook who at lap whatever.
Yeah, there's probably like 300 overtakes.
Right. So. That's impossible. There'd be no way that you would remember all of that. It'd be very biased against you. So because we had a lot of them, I felt that it added a little bit of difficulty to it. All of these questions, except one, are about DNFs.
Okay.
DNFs in the Indy 500. When they happened, who was it?
Oh, no. That's what I'm scared about.
There's never when it happened. There's never when it happened. It pretty much is who was it.
Okay.
Right? So.
Well, there's a lot of DNFs, so this is going to be difficult.
So that's why I felt like it was like, all right, there's enough that maybe you could get like 1 or 2 wrong, but DNFs are also memorable enough that I was like, I think she'd be all right. You know? Yeah. So I will start the clock after I read the first question to you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Who was the first driver that DNF'd?
Scotty Mack.
Whose brakes were on fire before the race started?
Scott Dixon.
Whose car caught on fire in the pit lane?
Alexander Rossi.
Who spun on entry into the pit lane?
Rinus VK.
Who won the Indy 500?
Alex Palou. Damn, that was good.
That was good. That was good. I'm just going to spoil it right now. You got all of those right.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. Yeah, so, write this down. So your gross time is
it's going to go down a lot.
20.45, or 20.43. Sorry, you got 5 questions right. You've got no questions wrong.
Woohoo! That's my best time ever.
That is going to be your fastest time ever.
Does that be Frey? Do we have Frey's time?
I'll have to look. I don't have her in the new system that we're using to record it, but I will check. That is your current fastest time. So now your fastest time is sat at a 15.43 seconds, and your average time drops to a 23.20.
Okay.
That's good.
Damn.
That's very good.
I think you'll be fine for Monaco.
Yeah, Indy 500.
Indy 500.
I mean,
Indy 500 is truly one of the coolest motorsports events, I think, in motorsport. Just the way the build-up, like we've obviously been talking about it for the past few episodes, but like the build-up to the actual day. Carb Day is one of the coolest things ever. I think I want to go for Carb Day. They do the last practice. Then they do the pit stop challenge, which is so cool. I don't think I ever realized that the winner of the pit stop challenge gets money, but they split it between the pit stop crew. Like,
that's nice. Yeah.
They turn it into kind of almost like Carb Day. It makes me feel like an all-star game, like all-star skills, like challenge or whatever. Yeah. But like it's also showcasing the other parts of the team, not just the drivers, which is like is cool to recognize and notice.
So that's what I was going to say. So that to me is the coolest part about it is like it's not like, yes, the star of the show are the drivers and everything.
Yeah.
But bringing attention to the pit crew and having that competition for them there. Like, I completely agree. I think that's a great move. I think it's so cool that they do it. And yeah, the fact that it's like a skills competition is very cool and very like a great way to put it. You know, it's I loved it, and I agree with you. The buildup of it is immense and spectacular. And it's we talked about this a couple episodes ago when we were talking about the Indy 500. It was, I made it a point this year to sit down and watch it and actually be like, I want to watch this. Like, this is happening, and I got to say, like, I get it. Like, I get why people love the Indy 500, and I get why it means so much to the drivers. Like, it is, like you said it before we started, like, even the commercials running was like, oh, this feels like a Super Bowl. Like,
it felt like a Super Bowl. Like, I was like, okay, where's the, like, it literally, from start to finish, it felt like a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and it's just having the entire build-up, having, like you said, you're watching qualifying for it last weekend, adds to it because it's like, oh, man, they're dedicating a whole weekend just for quali to it, and quali's so fun to watch because it's like 6 hours, and they're just like, go out there, drive your laps on your own and everything, do this, and it's literally just pedal to the floor, like just go. It is a lot of fun to watch. And like, even the laps where it's like nothing's really happening, or like you're just kind of watching them go around in a circle, is entertaining to watch because they're going so fast, and because the laps are just like ticking down or like ticking up, I guess. It was a blast. I was so thrilled that I got the chance to sit down and watch it and everything.
And it's so easy and clear to see who's running different strategies. I feel like it would be hard to tell with a race that's like just at the oval, but it's so easy to tell like who's running what. I did want to bring up Will Buxton posted late yesterday evening after everything. His tweet is obviously this was Will Buxton's first Indy 500, and I feel like he did a pretty damn good job. I
thought he was great.
Really enjoy listening to him with commentating But he posted, in 25 years of reporting and broadcasting racing, I've never felt more deeply for those who had a bad day and for those who rose to glory. This line's perfect. This race is a championship in and of itself, contested over 2 of the most intense weeks I've ever experienced. I always loved it. Now I get it.
Yeah.
That's like the perfect tweet to sum up, I feel like, the Indy 500
That's it. Yeah.
experience in a whole.
Fantastic way to put it.
It's so true that it is clearly like there's the IndyCar championship, and then there's the Indy 500 championship, and I feel like that weighs a little more.
Yeah.
And I mean, they said it to Alex Blow. He said it earlier up. He was like, I don't think my career would mean anything. The man has won back-to-back championships and probably going to win another one.
Yep.
He's breaking records, but he said clearly himself, his career wouldn't mean anything if he didn't win in the Indy 500.
Which
It's almost
absurd.
like, I feel like it's someone like, I'm going to relate to like hockey or something. Someone in like the NHL winning like in the Olympics, in like the World Championships, going to the All-Star game, all this stuff being like a record breaker, like Alex Ovechkin. If he was doing all that and then didn't win the Stanley Cup, that's what I'm like, he would probably be like, my career's been nothing because I didn't win what I wanted to be here for.
It's almost like it's gonna sound bad when I say this, but it's almost like Pelot saying that is like a selfish statement where it's like, dude, like you're like you just said, like you're having this record-breaking year. You've won back-to-back IndyCar championships. You literally now have won 5 out of 6 IndyCar races to start. You know, and it's like, how could you say that? And then it's like you look on the flip side of it, and
you
like,
get it.
Oh my God, that's how much it means to them. Like that is it. Like
it's almost like, because I mean, I'm going to go to the race we'll talk about later, but like Monaco is in a sense that way. They all want to win Monaco as well.
Everybody wants to win Monaco.
It's one of the crown jewels, so it's like, it is, because I can like 100% hear Max Verstappen saying something like Alex Palou saying, like, if I don't win this, it's my career has been nothing. Like,
it is a checklist item for any driver to enter, any IndyCar driver to enter, is to win the 500, you know, and it's, I mean, it is the fanfare, the build up, the running of it itself, you know, like everything around it is just heightened, and it is just so well done. Going back to what you said, like I think Will Buxton did a great job commentating on it. You know, the race itself was so entertaining. You know, like it was fantastic. I mean, the sheer speed that they are pulling around this oval is
for 200 laps.
For 200 laps, right? And like that, you think about that too, like in and of itself. Like I get worried my car holding like 60 miles an hour for like 30 minutes, right? Like if I'm driving to the shore or something, it's like, oh, I'm on cruise control and I'm like, oh, I've been really pushing this car. That is 200. I know they're designed for it, but that is 230 miles an hour on average that they are holding for 200 laps. Like that is insane to think about. And I mean, it is, you saw it. I mean, it's really like, yes, when they're bunched up at the beginning and everything, you know, people are pressing on the brakes and whatnot. But like for the most part, they're just lifting and coasting when it comes into the corners. Like, and they're just like using that time to coast a little bit, carry their speed, and adjust the car where they need it to. And the moment it's back on the racing line, it's positioned to take a turn, stuff like that, they're back on the gas. Like it is, it's absurd to me. Like
I think the restart, one of the restarts, I mean, any IndyCar restart is wild to watch. I mean, any F1 restart is fun to watch. Like, it's a nail biter. But on the oval, when they can bunch up and they're like 6 wide, you're like, oh my God. Oh, and that one was so clean. I was expecting like carnage on the track because they were all going to like turn into each other. But they kept it very, very clean.
Yeah, there was that one restart that happened that it was.
It was after the longest caution. It was after the longer cautions.
And it was like a group of cars that was like maybe like 3 rows of cars, all like 4 to 6 wide, like, and all just in this group. And we both were like, oh my God, like look at that.
I held my breath. Yeah,
it is absurd. I mean, it's like I said, I get it. It is so much fun to watch. I mean, and I want to go back to Scotty Mack to like talk about this because it goes in hand with it. Like, seeing him
Heartbreaking.
crash out in the beginning of the race
Mhm.
and then get out of the car and cry. And like even like on the onboard, like the camera that faces them,
Yeah.
you see him lift up his visor and he's already in tears. And it's just like, oh my God, like I get it. Like like that's I feel like this is the only way that I can describe this race. It's like I get it now because I sat down and watched it, but it's watching that happen with Scotty Mack, seeing him get out of the car and just not like collapse, but like curl up into a ball essentially.
Yeah.
And just be like, oh, I'm so upset. You know, like even when he's interviewed afterwards and he's like, I don't know what happened. He's just like straightly just at a loss for words.
He's just disappointed.
Yeah. And it's so heartbreaking to see. And I mean, it's, you know, you watch anybody out of the, God, I think we had 12 DNFs, something like that.
Yeah, there's so many. Well, and like even came down to like, I know he's not everyone's fave, but like Joseph Newgarden, like that wasn't even, it wasn't a mistake he made. It was just a mechanical failure. Like the car failed him. Like that's like, it's like if they're pushing the limit, like maybe I like if they're pushing the limit and they get out, yes, it sucks. But like, they were but like something like that, you're like, oh, like that. So it was just taken away from them, not by their own fault.
It is
like
strictly and fully like out of their hands.
Yeah.
And it's just like all of a sudden your hopes and dreams are over of winning it. You know, and I mean it's like it's crazy, you know, because like something like that, like Joseph, like there's nobody to blame there. You know, so it's like where does the inevitable anger that you're gonna feel go?
Yeah.
Like can't go anywhere. You kind of just have to deal with it. You know, like at least like you know, like Scotty Mack is gonna be pissed off with himself. You know, like I'm trying to think like Stingray Robb is gonna be pissed off with I can't remember
Kyle Larson and Kiffin Simpson. Yeah.
Right. He's gonna be annoyed with them. He you know, like these accidents where somebody makes contact with another and then they both get out, like at least there's a direction that you can point the anger in. Like something like that with Joseph, it's just like, oh, like, and I will say this too. It was only heightened by the fact that he was making progress.
He was on track to maybe win. It was literally on track.
I mean, it started out for Newgarden, like started 40th. No, not 40th. 32nd, whatever it is, you know, and it's like, does he have a chance? Well, if he does, if anybody's going to have a chance, it's going to be Joseph Newgarden. Like, he's going to be the one to do it and pull this off and everything. So it's like, and then seeing him, like, I think it was like by like lap 10 after the first caution had
he was
subsided.
pulling a max. Like, we were
he was up to like 25, and it was like, oh shit, like you're already kind of making moves up there.
I think it was Townsend Bell. Townsend Bell was like, oh, he's ahead of schedule. Like, he is ahead of schedule.
You can tell he wanted it, you know, and he didn't. He did not allow himself to kind of be like, oh, I'm starting from the back. Like that's it. You know, like
it fueled him anything else. Like it fueled I saw so many people being like they were watching IndyCar for the first time, like, is it normally this chaotic? No. Yes, oval races are crazy and there can be crashes, but some of the things that people were coming out for were very like not normal. Like there wasn't like I think out of everything it was Kyle Larson, Kiffin Simpson, and Stingray Robb. That was like the only contact with other cars on track. Because you had Rinus VeeKay spin into the
just lose his brakes. Yeah.
You had Robert Schwartzman, who I think also just lost his brakes and obviously came into the pit lane and
that was scary. Yeah.
Ran over his pit crew. I think he posted, I liked it. He posted saying like everyone's okay.
Yeah.
You had Alexander Rossi who comes into the pit lane, they're refueling and his car literally almost lights up like a ball of flames.
Yeah. His refueler's hand caught on fire.
Yeah.
Like
you had some very strange some very strange things happen that don't normally take people out like that. So if anything, what we had 3 cars basically DNF in the pit lane alone with Robert Schwartzman, Alexander Rossi, and Rinus VeeKay.
Yeah. Like, I mean,
and Joseph Newgarden, I guess you can, but like those 3 were like incidences in the pit lane.
That was literally inside the pit lane. Yeah, I mean, Alex Rossi pulled in, looked like a good stop. He's refueling, and then all of a sudden, it's like poof, and the whole side of the car is up in flames.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, what the hell happened? And then he's climbing out of the car, like he's freaking out because he's like, holy crap, the side of the car is on fire.
Yeah.
You know, and then he doesn't realize that his refueler is like literally his hand is caught on fire.
On fire.
And
I
it's
think
just like
Romain Grosjean was there. Romain Grosjean was probably like, oh my god.
yeah. And it's just like, yes, normally it's not that chaotic. And ovals are definitely a little bit more chaotic than road courses because obviously, like you said, it's a little bit more just straight foot to the floor. Where road courses, obviously, you are braking.
Yeah.
You're not getting all the way up to 6 gear stuff like that. But no, it is not normally that chaotic. And
no,
it definitely is also heightened because there's more cars in the field than a normal IndyCar race. You know, it's just more people, more chances for things to go wrong. You know, stuff like that. But it is just. I just still can't believe it is like I just want to say like the immensity of the Indy 500. And it's like, even like they did the special lap for the troops. Beforehand. And just watching all the cars do the lap around the track with the two like Black Hawk helicopters, like 50 feet above them is like, you're watching that and you're like, holy shit.
Some people like in the stands, their TikToks have come up on my For You page. I'll have to send it because like their view is wild. Like they could have reached out and touched the helicopter. That's how close it was. Yeah.
And I think it's, I don't know. I loved it. I thought it was a great race. I think it was a blast. We have to talk about Alex Palou.
I was like, yeah, but I also have 3 other things I want to talk about quickly.
Please go.
So we have to talk about Alex Palou. We have to talk about Kyle Larson, who was obviously not able to do the double, which sucks so bad. Because he obviously crashed, and then he made it in time to the NASCAR race. Nolan Siegel crashed at the end, and this is the only problem I have with the IndyCar broadcast.
Yes.
They literally were like, oh, here's Nolan in the wall, crashed because the race technically ended under caution. And then they never said anything about it again.
Nope.
Literally never again. Aaron McLaren did post, they're like, Nolan was involved in an incident on the final lap. He's been seen and released from the IndyCar medical. People are like, thank you, because, yes, I get it, the fanfare with Palou, but, like, someone literally, his car was pretty damaged in the wall on the last lap. Like, let us know if he's okay. Like, they did not even mention it again.
Did right at the end there, Christian from Streamer Season texted me in that moment, and he was like, have we heard anything about who crashed at the end of the race? And I only knew it was Nolan because you said it to me. Because you said, that's Nolan's car. That's Nolan Siegel. And I answered him, and I was like, yeah, they showed it for a split second, and then immediately went right back to Alex Palou winning and everything. Which, like, I get it. It's Alex Palou.
Yeah.
You got a record breaker racer right now, 2-time world champion. And he's on an unbelievable tear through the IndyCar season, winning his first Indy 500. Fine. But at least give us something other than
give us an update.
The cliffhanger of, hey, this car crashed. Okay, here's your winner.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
It was literally like if you blinked, you would have missed the shot of him on the TV screen.
Yeah, it was
that's how quick it was.
Because you saw them coming down, like the straight to finish the race. Cautions were flown. I remember this, like shot for shot. You get an inside shot of Alex Palou, like freaking out. You get a brief second shot to Nolan Siegel's car on the wall.
And then
right back to Alex Palou's like in-car shot, like crying and everything. And I'm like, no, go back. Like, at least, like,
give us an update on Nolan.
I'm thrilled for Alex, but also, is that guy okay? Is Nolan okay?
Yeah.
Like,
please
I do agree with that. That's my one gripe with it. I agree. Yeah.
That is my one thing I hated about the broadcast. The other thing, so there's that video. IndyCar obviously interviewed Pato at the end, and I think it's a McLaren curse. They literally post the one part of his headline, and it's saying like Ericsson choked, and I'm like, Pato, I don't think you have a lot of room to say Ericsson choked. But they continue going on. He gives the clip is very well, I can send it to you. He is basically saying like the back markers were like basically decided who was winning. Because there was those 2 cars in front of Palou and Ericsson.
Yes.
That was basically giving Palou like almost basically a slipstream. And that's what people are saying. I do like how IndyCar they don't give him a blue flag and you don't get like let pass.
They
which
don't have
I
to
know we'll
move
talk
out of
about.
the way right away.
Yeah, we can talk about traffic in Monaco as well because it's the same thing. But
Yeah, really.
but yes, it's just like Pat was like they were in the way, so like we could have probably had the three of them fighting for a good chance, or it was Palou, Ericsson, and Malukas fighting
Yeah.
for the podium, and maybe Palou wouldn't have walked away if there was clean open air in front of the first one. So
Yeah.
that was really what Pato was saying. That he was like the back markers were basically helped decide who was winning because they didn't move out of the way. But
Right. I mean, it
yeah,
definitely plays into it because instead of Alex getting a slipstream and a tunnel of air that's already being punched through that he can drive on, he's the one punching the air and everything, and it's causing just that little bit. Sometimes all you need is that little bit of drag on Alex that Ericsson or Malukas isn't getting, and maybe they can make a move. But yeah, I mean, it definitely. I think I don't know. I agree with you. I think the rule of IndyCar where the back markers can race against the leaders is unique, is cool. It provides a lot more tension in the race because when you are catching those back markers, it's like, oh, this isn't just going to be like, get out of my way and that's it. But
and especially like, I mean, Joseph was complaining during St. Pete, or maybe Pato, like the engine suppliers will help each other. Like if it's a Honda and Honda, they will not let the Chevy pass to keep the Honda in front. Yeah,
it does create, I mean, there's good sides and bad sides, like any rule to it. It's like, but I don't know. For the Indy 500, because it's such a standout and special race, I could see them doing something, and I would understand if they were like, hey, for the Indy 500, back markers must move out of the way. Back markers will be shown a blue flag. You have to get out of the way of the race leaders, stuff like that. I could see that being a thing, but yeah, I agree with that. I think it was not that the end of the race wasn't exciting, but it was kind of like, okay, yeah, it was like almost like a DRS train, even though there's no DRS, where it's like, this is just kind of how it's going.
Yeah, because if you look back to last year, that's why the ending was so exciting, because it was clean for Pato and Joseph Newgarden, which is why Newgarden was able to literally overtake in the last corner. So
the last corner, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't play a part in last year's race. But yeah, I mean, we can't take away from Palou's win. The man is he's on a tear. Did you see what Indy 500 posted? Because they post like a graphic after every race, like who's winning.
Yeah.
So obviously it's all Palou and one Kyle Kirkwood. In the next picture, it's like the employee of the month from SpongeBob, and it's all Palou and then one random Kyle Kirkwood. It's so good.
I mean, honestly, it is the perfect way to sum it up for Alex Palou. I mean, we at this point are a broken record when we talk about IndyCar. The man is on something special this year, and it's like, I think, I don't know, I relate it to MaxVerstappen 2023.
Yeah.
Where he just went on a tear. I think the difference, and I think why I maybe like Alex's tear a little bit better, is because it's not like 20-second wins every time. Like, it's not I'm on pole and then I just run away with the race and that's it.
Yeah.
I'm fighting from Indy 500. I'm fighting from 5th, 6th. I have to make moves to win and everything, and he just gets it done. Like, it's
every time.
Like, we talked about it when we were doing our Indy 500 predictions, and I mean, you predicted correctly as well. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That Alex Palou was gonna win the race, but like when he won, my reaction was strictly just like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
no, literally.
It's like, yep, all right. It's just like he just feels inevitable. Like,
which is wild because he was a first-time winner for the Indy 500.
Right, but like that's the thing. Like he's so good, and he's on such a tear that it's like, again, I said it last week. Like, he's got to be carrying that confidence into the 500, and I just like, it's when he crosses the finish line in first place. You're like, yep, that tracked.
I mean, I posted he's never won an oval until yesterday, and he conquered maybe the most important oval. So
that being the first most oval win too. That's the thing too. Like, I can imagine, or I wonder, like, if there was any sort of like anxiety or like superstition building in his head when it came to ovals, and he's just like, it's just an oval, and I'm not good on ovals, stuff like that. And now it's like, well, I just won on the most important oval out of the entire season, so there goes that superstition. Like
he's like, I've done it. Now I've got it. I also like to point out that he is a part of Team Redline, which is Max Verstappen's streaming thing. He's an ambassador. They posted about him winning, so I feel like Team Redline's got some magic over there.
Oh yeah. I want to talk about this too. Whoever Fox right now, being the new owner of IndyCar or the broadcast rights of IndyCar, sorry.
Yeah.
Has gotta be loving it that one of their 3 boys that they made a commercial about is doing so well in the season and also just won the Indy 500.
I know. Like, we turned up because you turned on the Phillies game quickly. I want to know, I want to look it up. They have to have a good commercial.
They gotta.
They have to.
I honestly wonder if they were gonna attach it on to the end of the existing commercials if one of them won.
Or a
shots of them, or new one, you would get a new commercial. But I can see it being this is Alex Palou, blah, 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 doing the commercial. And then, at the end, it's and he's an Indy 500 winner, Well,
because you can easily have 3 different storylines. Joseph Newgarden, 3-peat. Pato O'Ward.
First time.
And kind of the underdog with the way he's been so close.
True.
To finally win. And then Alex Palou, one of the greats in the sports right now, finally tackling. Yeah, they had easily 3 storylines to do it. I do have to say, there's a clip of Alex Palou hugging his sister or whatever they posted of him hugging his sister. Scott Dixon in the background is so happy for him because they are.
I'm sure.
Scott Dixon was out so early of the race. Unfortunate for him because he did have a shot at maybe winning. Scott Dixon. But he just loves the kid, I feel like, Scott Dixon.
Well, that's also, that's something that, I love about motorsports and everything, too, is, and this is across the board, because we saw it in Miami last year when Lando won his first race.
Yeah.
Watching a competitor, win their first, whatever it is, Lando's first race, Alex Palou's first Indy 500, especially from people who have won the race and knows what it feels like, there's gotta be, you're definitely gonna be I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely thrilled for him because he did it. And I love that Scott Dixon, you can see that he was thrilled and everything. And even without him being a teammate, he is just thrilled for Alex, especially
he was
because
excited.
It's his first one, all this stuff. I love that. I'm happy. I'm happy that Alex won. I'm happy that he got the first one. I love that he finally did it. It's finally kind of conquered in his head. Like we said, his career would have meant nothing if he didn't get it. And now it's the same thing. It's that
he's got it.
It's the weight off my shoulders. I can now say that I did it.
And they have more ovals coming up. Obviously, over the summer they race at almost all ovals. So it's
right.
He's got that out of his head now that he can win at an oval. So.
I can win at an oval. I did it. Again too. Now going in the next week at Detroit, it's I just came off winning again. It's that confidence builder. I just won the Indy 500. I can win here. I would not be shocked if Alex Palou wins Detroit. Would not.
I would not be shocked either.
Yeah,
I would not be shocked either. But yeah, Indy 500, you never disappoint. Never.
Great race. Yeah, I'm so like I said, I'm so thrilled that I sat down and actually watched it. I'm happy that we watched it together because it was just again, it was I get it. Just makes sense. It's I understand why this is the Super Bowl of motorsports.
I get it. I fully get it. But yes, that was Indy 500.
And IndyCar, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, sold out again for the first time in a couple years.
A few years.
To see.
Yeah.
Great to see.
They said
that's proof right there that motorsport is on the rise in America.
And they said that Carb Day was the biggest crowd ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great. It is exciting to see. But yes, that was Indy 500. Back to Pints and Pit Stops. Because we obviously had another race to compete at this weekend or to watch and recap. And obviously, it is, I know I'm one to say this, not many people say it. I do love the Monaco Grand Prix. So,
yeah. We'll get into that because I summarized my thoughts on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We can start with that before we do any other recap.
Yeah.
But yes, so I'm now going to do Pints and Pit Stops to Owen. 5 questions. He knows the drill. He's got to improve the time. I think I made them so he could do pretty well. I will obviously start the timer after I finish reading the first question. Are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. How many points did V-Carb score?
10.
Why did George get a drive-through penalty?
He cut the corner.
What was the time for the fastest pit stop?
2.0.
Who was it?
Ferrari.
Who did Gasly hit?
Yuki Tsunoda.
What did Oscar say to Lando in the cool-down room?
I think he went into the wall.
24.51.
Okay.
You did well. You got all of them right except for question 1.
I knew it too. As soon as
Yeah. Did you hear me? Did you need me to time again?
24.5, right?
Yes. So obviously he got all of them correct except for the first one. How many points did V-Carb score? They scored 12 points. Isaac got 8 and Liam got 4. But I'll give you 2 for fastest pit stop because you got the time correct and then you said who the team was. So.
Oh, okay. So I got the change.
And you got all 5 correct.
I'll have to change that then.
I'll give you a bonus. A bonus. But yes. Oh, let me go back to my timer. Sorry, people.
That is, man, I got some bad times since we've been like keeping track of it on.
Yeah, you haven't had some good times.
No, I have not. That is now currently my fastest time.
Yes, that should help your average.
21.5. Yeah, it brought my average down to a 28.9.
Okay, good. Because last week's was not good for you.
No, it was not. All right, Monaco.
Let's get that one. Summarize his thoughts first before we get into a recap.
So, all right. I'll keep this short because, like I said, I tried to summarize it and I went back and forth with some people on threads, which I love those conversations. I know sometimes things can get a little heated. I know people get a little annoyed sometimes. I love those conversations. I love having these thoughtful conversations on threads, blah, blah, blah. Monaco GP, I kind of brought this up too when we talked about it, when we did meme of the week. You know, it is a very boring race in terms of its average, how it's been in the past, right? I don't know, I don't want to say like forced hate, but like the forced negativity around Monaco, reuse the word, I think is forced because I think people immediately just like discount it, or like not discount it, but like immediately knock it off as like the results of qualifying are the race results.
Oh yeah, people go into it like already hating it
and get very negative about it, which like
very.
I will be the first to admit I hate driving Monaco. It is the most impossible track to drive. It is hard even driving on time trials when I'm warming up to record track facts. It is brutal. It's hard. It's a hard track to drive. And it's a very hard track to overtake. But it is not impossible to overtake. It is not. And I'm going to sound like a grumpy old man saying this, but these drivers, the F1 drivers, the 20 of them that are in the world, are paid millions and millions of dollars to win races.
Yeah.
To do the thing that we want them to do and overtake. I understand it's difficult on Monaco. I understand it's very hard on Monaco. It's not impossible. So I think when people immediately are like, screw Monaco, it sucks, get it off of the calendar.
Yeah, move it off the calendar.
Right. Get rid of it. Some people are like, wipe it from the face of the earth. It's awful. It's terrible.
Which is never going anywhere, people.
Right. It's never going anywhere because it's Monaco. That's where I think it gets into like, it's a little bit forced and it's a little bit overdone because it's not the track's fault. It's the cars. Jamie Price, the photographer, posted this too. Somebody posted saying Monaco sucks. The track is awful. And he posted underneath. He said, it's not the car. It's not the track. It's the cars. So I get it.
Because we've seen it with other areas. We saw F2. We see Formula E have some exciting races there.
Has some
it's
great
not the track, people.
races. It's the track. So I understand.
No, it's not the track.
It's not the track. Sorry, it's the cars. So I understand people's hate with it. I do. But saying that the track sucks, saying that it doesn't deserve to be a race, is awful or is wrong. And I don't agree with that. I think then too, when we're watching Charles, again, gonna lay out this situation for everybody. Lando was leading the race with Charles chasing him for 20
literally
laps,
touching his
laps.
rear wing.
Right. That is a potential first-time World Drivers' Championship winner, and potential at that time first-time Monaco winner, leading the race with the hometown boy, the hometown hero, who is a god in Monaco.
He is royalty.
Chasing him for 20 laps. And Lando's on the radio saying, "Where's Oscar? I need him to put pressure on Charles for me."
Yeah.
So I think when you immediately be like, "This is it, 20 laps is nothing. Charles is not going to catch him," I think is a little bit overdone.
Yeah.
And it's just, we cannot discount the drivers being like, "Well, I'm just not going to get around him because of Monaco." No. They are paid to do that. That's what their job is. And they are racers. They want to win. Yeah. Now, getting away from that, the whole thing with like VCARB did it most prominently, slowing down cars and everything,
and
so
then
they could get a free pit stop. And Williams did it too. You're right. Like that. Yes, that was a failure. That was the FIA.
No, it worked.
No. Sorry. Let me rephrase. That was done because of the change with the 2 pit stops, the mandatory 2 pit stops. That was the failure. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Terry, Coffee Corner Motorsport works. I think he summed it up perfectly. The FIA tried to artificially inject excitement and suspense into Monaco, and it failed. But you, have to respect the FIA for at least trying something. They're like, you know what? This is what we're going to do. We're going to try it. It was a failed experiment. Okay, move on. B, the other thing too, the cars are getting smaller next year. We will have new cars. They will be about 20% smaller. So it should be easier to overtake. So all I'm saying, all of this is, I said I was going to keep it short and I did not. All I'm saying is,
you did 5 minutes.
The hate of Monaco and the immediate, it's Monaco, cars are not going to make any moves, blah, 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 blah. This sucks. This track sucks. I think is a bit overdone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Qualifying, I will admit, still very important. It is still very important, just like every other qualifying.
Qualifying is so damn nerve-wracking in Monaco.
And that's great.
Specifically.
Right, and that's great. And that makes qualifying fun to watch for Monaco, But we should not just immediately be I keep going back to Charles and Lando because it's like the most prominent, like the best use case for it. But it's like, we should not just immediately be like, well, Lando's won the race because he's in first.
Yeah.
No. Charles is paid to do this. Remove all the hometown hero stuff. Remove all of that. Charles is a race car driver. He is paid to win races. He will try everything he can to win races. That's it.
Well, and like the people being like, well, the top 3 still started and finished where they ended. Yeah, but for a while it didn't look like it.
Yeah. That's it. Yes. That's the other part of it too is, yes, okay, I get it. I can say all these things, and ultimately, at the end, Charles didn't get around Lando. That's fine, but you can't just be like, oh, the next 20 laps mean nothing because, like, no, something could happen. It's Monaco. Something could happen. Like, I get it. I understand Monaco is a very hard track to drive. I understand that it's almost impossible, and the drivers say it too. I get it. I completely understand it. To the level that I can.
Yeah.
But it is not impossible to overtake there, and they are paid to do the thing, and they are paid to overtake and win races. So, immediately being like, the track sucks, get rid of it. Nope, don't do that. Change the cars, switch it up, which the FAA tried, and it failed. There you go.
Well, and like going back to saying with the like when we were talking about the 500 and Carb Day and like showcasing the pit crew, Monaco is showcasing the strategists and the strategy behind it, and we clearly saw good ones from VCARB and Williams who outshone Mercedes because what the hell were they doing?
Really.
But also like Hell's put it perfectly on Threads. maybe Monaco's for, like, I'm gonna say it, the race nerds, because the people that look at
Yeah,
the
the
stat,
stat
the
nerds.
people that
Yeah.
it can be an exciting race. Not every race in F1, it's not just Monaco. Not every race in F1 is about pure speed and overtaking on the track.
Right.
It comes down to the pit stop crew, the strategists, the tires, the elements. Like,
Yep.
it worked perfectly. And also, you mentioned him earlier, Jamie Price, the photographer. Monaco is such an event to, like, see in person.
Yes.
That's like when people hate on Miami saying it's boring to watch at home. Yeah, but it's not boring to watch in person because it's such an event, and it's such, they go all out. It's literally, Monaco is like the black tie event of the F1 calendar.
And it's
like,
it is, you were right. Like, it's Monaco. It's not going anywhere.
No, it's not.
Like, that is,
when you think F1, you think
jewel.
Monaco.
Right. That's the thing. Like, that is the crown jewel of the F1 circuit. We mentioned it earlier with the Indy 500. That is the one race that every driver is like, I want to win Monaco.
Yeah.
Like, Monaco will put me in legendary status. You know, like, all this stuff. So, like I said, I get it. I think it was a failed experiment from the FIA. I think
for the two-stop,
For the two-stop. I do genuinely think, though, although it was a failed experiment, I almost feel like they should do it again next year when they have the smaller cars.
Smaller cars, yeah.
Because if the cars are smaller and it's easier to overtake, then it kind of negates, or at least negates a little bit of that, the DRS train is slowing down cars because it might be easier to overtake, so you can get out of that, So I almost feel like they should run it again next year with the new regulations and the new cars and everything. But yes, saying that the track sucks, that the track should be removed, that it's so boring, and immediately just being like, I'm not watching this race, or this race is going to end exactly how it starts, I think it's a little overdone, and it's a little too over-exaggerated. That's it.
Now to the specifics.
I took a couple notes. I watched the 30-minute replay of the race.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. The first thing I want to talk about, Lando's lockup going into turn one right off the rip.
I mean, Oscar said it perfectly.
Scary.
I thought you went into the wall.
Yeah. I mean, that is, like I said, I posted this too. If we as a viewer from home didn't see the lockup from the front angle, I would have thought the same thing of, oh my God, Lando's in the wall and the car is damaged beyond repair.
Yeah.
But kudos to Lando for saving it. Kudos to Charles for putting that much pressure on him that happened right off the start.
Well, we saw the reaction time. Charles had a much better reaction time than Lando.
Very good. But yeah, I mean, scary moment from Lando. But I mean, it was exciting start to the race and everything. And then literally, you go into the first lap on the hairpin, you see Gabriele Bortoleto doing an overtake on Kimi Antonelli on the
and then Kimi doing an overtake
on right, and then Kimi going, screw you, I'm getting that position back, and then goes to overtake him coming down into the turn that leads to the tunnel, and Gabby unfortunately goes into the wall and everything, but he got the car going again, he got it moving.
He continued.
Cool, it was only a yellow flag for a little bit, and then there was a VSC from that because there was some debris. But great. I mean, it's an exciting start to the race. I'll definitely say that.
If we get a clean start on turn one, lap one for Formula One, that's great because F2 and the Porsche Cup did not have a clean start. So
a mess. I haven't watched the videos of them, but I saw a photo of the Porsche race. Oh my gosh. And
the oil just spilling out of that car.
I literally was like, holy crap. That's a clusterfuck. It's just nasty.
What other notes do you have before?
I said it to you when we were watching the race. I was staring at the back of the field as we were climbing the hill off of turn one, just because what we had last year with the two Haas's and Checo. But yeah, they were clean up until Bortoleto's
and that was
incident and everything.
A relatively clean incident, I feel.
Yeah, it wasn't anything. It wasn't like Esteban and Pierre last year, where you have a car getting launched into the air. It was a clean incident. Like I said, you got the car going again. Yeah, I mean, and then the race did die down, and it was a little bit, little uneventful. But that's when you started getting into, VCAR. Liam was playing the team game and letting Isaac get ahead, and then Williams was doing the same thing.
VCAR nailed the strategy.
Yeah, they definitely saw what the FIA was doing with the 2 pit stops, and they were like, cool, this is what we're gonna do then, and
it worked.
Perfect.
I mean, they're in 7th now, I think, or they overtook Haas in the team standings and only like 4 points away from whoever's next or something, I think.
Yeah, I don't think they're that far off. I mean, that is, I mean, it's not the ideal strategy for us as the viewers, but it's for them, it worked, and they are, I mean, they're in 7th right now, and they're behind. You're right, behind Haas by 4 points, and they're ahead of Haas. They're ahead of Aston Martin by 8 points.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was perfect for them. Williams also nailed the strategy, too. It's almost like they saw what they were doing. They're like, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Like, they let Carlos go by at one point to create a gap so then Alex could get basically a free pit stop, which worked perfectly. I mean, Williams made Mercedes look like a low midfield team.
So, did Mercedes actually forget that they had to do 2 pit stops?
Okay, so I saw that, and then that post was deleted, and then I saw another person post it, and I think it's with a video of Toto. So it is out there that basically Toto's like, we forgot we needed to pit until lap 60. Now, when I was looking for Pints and Pit Stops, things, let me go back. Like, questions for you. The lap by lap literally says, what did it brings up, like, obviously, who... I think it's lap like 72, and Kimi pitted for the first time.
Yeah, I posted on lap 64 saying Mercedes has to pit a collective 4 times in the next 14 laps. Like,
yeah,
so I'm asking because I saw that post too at first. I saw the post where Toto was like, "Hey, we forgot the pit stop twice," and then the post got deleted. And the only time I've seen it again is from a screenshot of that post that I think got deleted. Yeah, so it's like I don't know if it's legit or not. Like, but
it is. It's literally George pitted on 65, and then he pitted again on 71. Like, what? I don't know what they were doing. And then both of them with the chicane, Kimi didn't get a penalty for it, but George obviously gets the drive-through penalty for just cutting off the chicane and gaining an advantage, like a position. So I just don't know what they were. What they were. It's almost like someone posted, they're like, there's always one throwaway race. Like, it's people when, like, in basketball or baseball, like, it's just a scheduled loss. Like, but what were you doing, Mercedes?
Watching the highlights again, I got a little bit more clarity on that. So George was definitely just very frustrated sitting behind Alex and getting pushed farther and farther behind by Alex. So I don't get it, but I do from like an emotional standpoint where it's like, I cut the corner, and then he's like, screw it, I'll take the penalty if it means that I can stay in front of Alex. I think he was expecting a 5-second stop penalty, but he got the drive-through, which is a little bit more unfortunate.
Which we don't really see in F1. We see it in IndyCar a lot.
Right. Which I do think as well, like, he wasn't expecting that. And like I said, I think he was expecting the 5-second penalty, but he kind of like screwed himself over. Kimi's, though, I will say this. Kimi's looked more like when he cut the corner coming out of the tunnel, that looked more like oh crap, I'm about to crash. Let me get out of the way, and then I cut the corner. And then he also gave the position back, so I think it kind of lent itself to that idea more. Because, I mean, he goes like up on the curb. He's maybe about this far from the wall. Like, he goes up, and it looks like George's, you can clearly kind of tell, is like, I mean, he says on the radio, like, oh, Alex just slammed on the brakes.
Yeah.
But like, it looks like he cut the corner just because he was tired of sitting back there. Kimmy's to me looked more like oh my God,
let me escape this.
Yeah, let me, not do that and cut the corner and everything. So, I definitely a weird day. I mean, a weird weekend. They were out in Q2. And I mean, George on his post on Instagram afterwards too was like, we knew that this weekend was kind of in the garbage after qualifying. You know, like, and it's like, all right, yeah, sure. You know, that's a situation where it's like, oh, this is why Monaco kind of sucks, because it's like there's not even a chance of maybe even making like top 5. Yeah,
but like,
for that.
On the other hand, you have Ollie Bierman, who I think was handed an unfair penalty for the red flag, because then you had, like, during practice, because then you had Franco and Carlos do the same thing, kind of, and they didn't get anything.
They didn't get
But obviously,
penalized,
Ollie was handed a 10-place grid penalty. He finished 12th.
Yeah. He definitely...
And I mean, there was only 2 DNFs. So, like...
Right.
It's not like you can obviously make up the places, but yeah, no, I don't know what. Mercedes was a mess.
I definitely think they went into it after qualifying, like George said, and they were kind of just like, let's see what happens. Yeah. You know, it definitely, the fact that they forgot, like, that's the thing. Like, I understand forgetting they do the pit stop twice. Like, that I can lend a little bit, like, all right, yeah, sure, it's a new rule. It's just for Monaco. It's a little annoying, whatever. But you know you have to pit at least once. So, like,
at least once.
And even waiting that long to pit at least once is like, all right, that's interesting. That's a weird move.
Well, it's almost like they were, I think maybe at one point they were probably, like, with Max in the lead, like, he was definitely waiting for a full safety car or a red flag, because then Max could have pitted and won, and we were like, could you imagine? Like, that's how Max went, but they didn't. That short come.
Yeah, that short stretch of Max in the lead, you know, going up to like lap like 75, I think it was, or something like that, was him waiting for a safety car, something to happen. You know, I mean, we talked about this a little bit. Like, I don't necessarily agree with that plan, but
no, I don't either. You're just like waiting for fate. But like, also Max and Charles are teammates in another universe.
They are. They 100% are.
They are teammates in another universe.
The fact
that maybe even this universe, because they have some. It's like Carlos and Lando. They have some unspoken communication on on track. Max and Charles have the same thing, because Max was clearly backing up Lando, and Charles was able to catch up.
Yeah, Max would rather have Charles win that race than Lando win that race and McLaren go further in the Constructors' Championship. Yeah, like it definitely, he was definitely slowing down a little bit and causing that backup to happen. But yeah, I mean, he was waiting and hoping for a safety car or a VSC. You know, like I said, I don't necessarily agree with that. I feel like that, like, even at Monaco, it leaves a lot up to chance. Like, your race strategy is just built on chance. And it's like, no, I'm okay with that being like a backup plan. Like, hey, ideally, if a safety car happens, this is what we'll do. But in the meantime, this is what we'll do. You know, that's under our own control. But yeah, he was waiting for that. The other thing about Max too that I wanted to bring up, his like almost overtake of Oscar in the double yellows when the flags were waving. So it kind of clears up in the 30-minute like race review, you know, highlights, whatever. I forgot the word there for a second. Max does get close, but I think it's what happens is you can see the double yellows coming out of the tunnel, and Max is behind Charles, like Oscar. He's good, like they're fine. When you come back out of that chicane, you can see green flags ahead because they're coming out of the yellow zone. So Max starts going, and Oscar doesn't yet. Because I think like almost immediately out of the chicane, there's yellow flags right there at the corner.
Right
but
there.
Ahead, as you come out of the yellow zone, there's green flags. So I think Max saw those, realized he was coming out of it, and started pressing on the gas a little bit more. Oscar was going a little bit slow. So like kind of led to that moment where it's Oscar was like, he was going to overtake me. Whereas then Max was like, there's green flags ahead. I almost rammed right into the back of him. Like, what is he doing? You know, I think it was just a misunderstanding, like, situation, but I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. You know?
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Interesting. I didn't know. I'll have to go back and watch the 30 minutes to see that, because I totally missed that.
Yeah, when I was watching it, it's nice. They cut to the onboard of Max. Like I said, they come out of the tunnel into Nouvelle Chicane, and you see the yellow flags right there. But then when they come out the other side of it, you see green flags and you see yellow again, like right next to them. So I think it was just Max was looking ahead. Oscar was looking at the yellow flags right there. You know, go from like the misunderstanding from there. So
Okay. Interesting.
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna transition into Charles because we have to talk about him because
Yes.
Ferrari made the good decision of bringing the 2024 rear wing to have a little more downforce because obviously everyone was very nervous. That car sucks in slow speed corners, and every single freaking corner in Monaco was a slow speed corner. So
yes,
I think Charles was not confident going into the weekend with that car. Charles is a Monaco master. I don't even think he could, even if he wasn't from there, he's so good on Monaco. The laps he was giving in practice, I was like, dude, slow down, it's practice.
chill out.
Yeah. I mean, he was setting like 110s in practice, and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But yeah, and obviously McLaren got the strategy right in qualifying for them to be able to do one more flying lap at the end.
Yeah.
But Charles's lap at the end wasn't even a bad lap in qualifying. McLaren just timed it correctly for Lando to go again.
That's what made it so exciting. It was like, the fact that Lando was on pole and you were like, oh, wow, that's really good. And then Charles does a great lap and you're like, damn, lost it. And like you said, McLaren kind of hit the nail on the head where it was like leaving just enough time for Lando to then get back around on a cool lap and do another one if he needed to.
Yeah.
So yeah, they definitely nailed it. But yeah, Ferrari made the right decision in terms of let's bring the 2024 rear wing. Let's.
And I think I saw that they're gonna keep it for I guess maybe other city tracks, which gives me promise because obviously Charles on city tracks is so good. So if he can keep for those street circuits, I think the podiums there are good. But like I don't think this weekend was a failure for Ferrari in any way. Lewis's side of the garage, 100% yes.
That's a
failure.
Weird. I feel like we say this every time when we talk about Ferrari, but that's a weird situation.
Well, they completely were the reason. His side of the garage was completely the reason for why he got a penalty for impeding.
Yeah.
They just didn't tell him, and then I don't know. His race engineer, there needs to be a change made. Him and Ricky are not getting.
They're not gelling.
The first race when there was back and forth, everyone's like, give them a few races. They can maybe get it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not working. Changes need to be made. And by tomorrow, there need to be changes made.
I definitely you're at the point, like you said, where the first couple races, you're like, all right, give them a minute, kind of gel, see what happens. You're what, race 7 now? Yeah. It's the testing period is over,
Well, and even at the end of the race, Lewis is trying to say something and they're not even responding. And Lewis is did I do something wrong? And Ferrari was trying to say oh, it's because of Monaco, race comms don't always come through all the time, but every other race comm was coming through perfectly fine.
Every other race comm was fine.
Yep. Yeah, there needs to be something wrong. But yeah, overall, definitely not a failure of a weekend. Like we said, Charles was Charles in Monaco. He was delivering it, just qualifying. He obviously knows qualifying, where you qualify in Monaco is maybe where you're going to end, but he wasn't fully out of the race. I was legit pacing and behind your couch yesterday, watching those last few laps. But yeah, it's just special watching. Charles even said it. There's not a lot of true Monegasque citizens in the world. So it is truly special for one of their own to win the race, to end up on the podium, to do well. So it is so cool to watch how much that city backs him and loves him. But yeah, no, not a failure of a weekend for Ferrari at all, I don't think. Hopefully a step in the right direction. But
I think yes, hopefully a step in the right direction for them. We have a bunch of new stuff coming for Spain, so it kind of shakes up the entire field between direct race regulations and upgrades for people. So it's hopefully the field shakes up a little bit. Hopefully McLaren can stay on top. But it's I think it was a good weekend. Obviously, like I said, the day itself going kind of jumping back to Monaco and IndyCar, awesome. I love it. Loved every second of it. It's a great day. I'm upset that they're not on the same day anymore. But it is what it is. You know, now you just have 2 days to watch a great race, 2 great races. So
Yeah, but like maybe because I think they're gonna rope Miami and Montreal together, which makes sense because same
yeah,
continents. Like, but like maybe Montreal gets to be on Memorial Day weekend, and we do. But then the timing, they will run literally almost at the same exact time.
yeah.
So, like of the day. So I don't know what we'll see. But yeah, Monaco, you never disappoint. I do love you.
You never disappoint. I enjoyed it. It was a
Never.
good race. But
Yes.
we have 2
Predictions.
more races coming up. That is Detroit for IndyCar.
Which is
And
the double-sided pit lane, which is the coolest pit lane
yeah,
ever.
it's such a cool pit lane. Detroit for IndyCar and Spain for F1.
F1.
Predictions, Casey?
Yes, but obviously for F1, there's a lot of upgrades coming. There's technical directives that were changed up, so we should see some changes. Maybe, obviously, like Owen just said, hopefully McLaren doesn't fall too much, but we'll see what happens. Okay, predictions. I'll do IndyCar first.
Okay.
And obviously we'll stick with 1, 2, 3 because it's back to a normal podium. Street track. So I'm sticking with him. Alex Palou P1.
Yeah.
He's already on a tear. I think he continues on a tear. Alex Palou P1. Scott Dixon P2. Scotty Mack P3. It's not a full rebound after last week, but I'll stick with it. So yeah.
But he gets,
Palou,
I agree.
Dixon,
I like that.
Yeah, Scotty Mack. That's my Detroit prediction.
I'm going to go similar vein as you. Alex Palou, I think, is going to win. I think it's, like I said, I think he's just inevitable at this point.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go 2 bounce backs for podium this weekend. I'm going to go Pato O'Ward, number 2, and I'm going to go Scotty Mack, number 3. I think both of them are a little bummed coming out of, well, Scotty Mack's more than a little bummed, but
yeah,
very upset coming out of the Indy 500. You're looking for a rebound weekend. Scotty Mack already kind of said it in a quote. He was like, I'm glad we're racing next weekend just so I can get into it.
Yeah.
You know, so I think he'll rebound. I think he's going to be like, all right, my world didn't end. You know,
move on.
I'm good to go. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that. Spain.
See, this is kind of weird because we said, like, we have new technical directives and
Okay, I'm gonna go Oscar P1.
Okay, I like it.
Charles P2. Okay, and then you ready for it? You said him last week, but I think the time's finally coming. Alex Albon P3.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
Because I'm expecting the weather to be warm, so I'm expecting Mercedes to be nowhere.
Yeah, nowhere near it. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'll do Oscar, Charles, Alex. That's a dream podium right there.
That is good. That's very good. I'm gonna go back to an old classic for Barcelona. I'm gonna go P1 Max.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm thinking. I know he's won a race already this year, so it's like, can be done. You're good. He's good to go. I think the technical directives coming in, and Red Bull, I think, has been making the right steps in the right directions.
Yes.
This past couple races. So I can see a return for Max. I'll go Max, Lando, Oscar. That's what I'll go.
Okay.
Yeah.
A classic podium.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll play the safe route this week. So.
Yeah. Well, it's also like another track people don't truly love, but like Imola is one that no one really loves, but look what Imola gave us. So I think Spain's going to be like, here it comes, because again, Spain's changing. It's no longer in Barcelona. It's going to be in Madrid. So it's the last Barcelona one. So yeah. Okay. I like those predictions.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you'd like to add? Pretty much
nothing.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. Good episode. Like I said, a lot to talk about. I'm sure there'll be a lot to talk about next week when we record.
Yes, there will.
Thank you again for joining us for this week's episode of Underground Circuit. We'll be back next week to recap Spain and Detroit. Should be 2 good ones. No predictions for the following weekend because there's no race. But yes, Thank you for joining us. Please give us a follow over on Instagram at Threads at _underground_circuit, over on Twitter and X at UG Circuit Pod, TikTok _underground_circuit. We got a fun event we are going to this week, so we're very excited. There'll be some content coming from that. But yes, thank you so much. Have a nice week. Today's weather is beautiful, but I'll be cleaning this apartment for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I gotta do some of that too.
But yes, thank you so much, everyone, and we will see you next week. See ya.
See you later, people.